This is going to be a session to try and just mobilise your body and give you just a general stretch all over. It's going to be quite low level, so suitable for lots of problems, suitable if you're postnatal, probably after about 6 weeks. If you do have any specific problems, if you're hypermobile, so if you have lots of excessive mobility around your joints, then obviously just be really careful and don't take things to absolute extremes of movement. So we don't want to be pushing into end range with any kind of stretches. Same rules apply, you know, if you've got back problems or any shoulder problems, just work with what your body likes. Anything that doesn't feel good, don't do. But the aim with this session is just to just get you moving, really. So if you've been sitting down at your desk all day, hunched over laptops, you know, and just being in one place for a long period of time, not particularly great position or posture, then this is quite a nice session for you to do. It's also quite a nice one to do after some of the harder, or not even the harder sessions, after any of the other sessions that I've posted on here so far. So either the arms, the legs, the core. If you've done a couple of those short sessions, this is quite a nice one just to add on at the end. So I haven't really got any equipment for this. I've just got a couple of head blocks and a mat, and that is it really. And the rest of it is just going to be just moving, and we don't need any weights or anything. So we're just going to start in standing. So I just want you to bring your feet just underneath your hips, and as we normally do, I just want you to take a moment to just make sure that you're in the right position. So if you rest your hands onto the brim of your pelvis, and we're just going to rock your weight forwards onto the front of the foot and then back onto your heels. So if you imagine you've got a marble just sitting on the bottom of both feet, and we're just going to roll the marble forward and then roll it back onto the heel. And we're just going to do 2 more. And then I just want you to rest your weight so that you feel like it's nice and evenly spread through the feet. So big toe, little toe and heel should feel nice and even. We're just going to come up to the pelvis, and I just want you to do some pelvic tilts just in standing. So imagine your bucket of water. Your water is going to start nice and level in your bucket. We're just going to slosh the water back one way. So we're just going to tuck tailbone under as much as you can. The knees will bend slightly, and then we're going to rock back the other way, and we're just going to arch into your lower back. But obviously don't force anything. So if it's not comfortable in either direction, then don't push into any pain. But we're just going to keep going just gently for a few more. And then we're just going to rest into neutral. So your back isn't flat, it's not arched, it's just nice and centered in the middle. Your rib cage should just be over your pelvis, so just stacked on top of your pelvis. And then we're just going to gently connect into your core. Okay, so we're going to hold that connection, pubic bone to tummy button, to about 50% of what a maximal contraction would be. So it's just a gentle connection that we're just holding there. So we're going to do a few mobility bits here. So we're just going to start just with some shoulder rolls. We're going to come all the way up to your ears, all the way down the back. So we're tracing the shoulders round as wide as you can, but obviously, again, don't do anything that you're not happy with. So we're keeping the connection on with your tummy. Try to keep the pelvis just over the ribs over the pelvis. Let's just do one more coming round this way, and your weight should just stay nice and even through the feet. Back round other way. One more. And then we're just going to take one arm up. Again, you don't have to do the arm if you've got any shoulder issues. We're just going to come down to one side. So just allow the hand just to slide down the leg. And then gently we're going to come back up and just bring that arm down. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So bring the arm up, slide over, back to the centre, and then bring the arm down. We're just going to do one more each side. So just don't do the arm lift if your shoulder isn't happy. So we're coming over, up, and down. Last one. we're going to add a little half roll down in with it on the next one. So again, you don't have to do the extra arm lift if you don't want to, but we're going to connect first. We're going to reach the arm up, keep the arm nice and long, so we don't want to be bending the elbow, collapsing the arm over your head. So keep the arm long. We're going to come over to the side, but then this time we're just going to allow the body just to roll forward. Come to the centre, and then we're going to restack the spine like we would do in a normal roll down and roll up in standing. So we're going to take the other arm up, slide over to the side, just as far as you feel comfortable doing, and then roll forward. So we're just allowing yourself just to come into a bit of flexion through the spine, and then restack back up. So if you've got any back problems, just be super careful with this. Let's just do one more each way. So we're going to come up and over, roll to the centre, and restacking tailbone all the way up. Last one. And then again, coming all the way up. So we're just going to do some arm circles here as well. So we're just going to reach both arms up. So again, keep the weight even through the feet. As you lift, we're just going to think about lifting the heart up towards the ceiling at the same time, but keep the shoulder blades drawing down. And then we're going to circle the arms round and back down to your sides. So connect pubic bone to tummy button. We're going to reach both arms up. Allow the heart to lift to the ceiling, but try not to overarch into your lower back. Circle the arms and down. We're just going to do two more. So breathe out as you lift. And come back down. Last one. And down. And we'll just do a little stretch for your neck here as well. So if you take ear to shoulder, we're just going to gently help it over with the hand. Don't force anything. Make sure that when you're holding stretches, so when you're holding stretches statically or still, you keep breathing. So you want to just breathe into the stretch. It shouldn't be painful. If you feel like you're getting any arm pain or pins and needles or numbness, then definitely ease off on this. Other side. Again, just gently keeping that connection on with your lower tummy, keeping the weight nice and even through the feet. Okay, now this time we're going to take the head to the side again, but we're just going to look up as well towards the ceiling slightly. So we're just targeting a slightly different area of the neck. You'll probably feel it a little bit more at the front of your neck here. So again, don't force it. Obviously monitor any symptoms in the arms, and again, we're just going to hold and breathe. And then come back to the centre, and then same to the other side. So we're going to side bend, but then just look up slightly as well. So you'll feel a bit of a stretch coming through the front, possibly into the front of your collarbone. And again, we're just going to hold and breathe. So we can't ignore your neck. I mean, when you're sitting at a laptop, what tends to happen is that your chin tends to poke forward, and the muscles at the front of your neck tend to tense up, as well as the little muscles around the back of the neck as well. So we've got to make sure that we're keeping everything nice and stretched out. We're just going to do a few stretches for your shoulder blades, then we're going to come down onto the floor. So I just want you to link your fingers. We're going to push the arms forward in front. So really think about rounding your shoulder blades across the rib cage. Keep the connection on with your core. Keep the weight even through the feet. And we're going to drop your chin down onto your chest, and I just want you to hold it. Again, just make sure that you breathe. And then we're going to take the hands behind the back, link the fingers behind, and we're going to open up through the front of the chest, and then just gently look up. And again, just hold it and breathe. Well done. So we're going to do a couple of roll downs, and this is going to take us down onto the floor. So if you stand sideways on, feet are under hips, and as usual, just make sure that your weight is even through the feet. And imaginary wall behind you. We're going to breathe in to prepare. Breathe out. Chin is going to drop onto chest. We're going to roll down through the spine. Keep the weight coming through the front of the foot. Let the knees bend slightly as you come down. We're going to hold it at the bottom. Take a breath in. And then breathing out, we're going to tuck tailbone under. Roll the pelvis up first. And restack the spine all the way up. Lengthen up through the neck. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. We're just going to do one more. This one's going to take us down onto the floor. So breath in. Again, breathe out. Chin on chest. This time when you get to the bottom, we're going to walk hands down onto mat. And we're going to come onto hands and knees. So you have an option. If you've got your little pad or your folded up towel, just pop it underneath your knees just for a bit of support. So hands can go where you like, slightly further forwards or slightly wider than your shoulders. Draw your shoulder blades down and we're just going to do a few cat stretches. So your knees are just underneath your hips. Take a breath in and then breathing out, we're going to just tuck tailbone under. So start from the tailbone and we're going to curl up through the spine one segment at a time. Hold it for a breath in at the end. And then lead with the tailbone and we're going to come back down to where you started. And again, so breathe out. Breath in, hold. And breathe out, come down. Let's just take one hand on top of the other. We're going to do a couple just on this side. So breath in again, tailbone under, curling up. So you'll feel a little bit more of a stretch coming through one side. Breath in, hold, come back down as you breathe out. And again, so breath in, breathe out, tailbone under. Breath in, hold. And come back down. We'll just do the same to the other side. So bring the hand back, other hand on top, and we'll do the same again. So just move as far as you feel happy. Well done. And we're going to bring it back to the centre. We're going to go into your thread the needle next. So we're going to take one hand, thread it behind the other. We're just going to slide that hand along the floor, bringing your shoulder blade down towards the mat. You might get a bit of a click coming through your back, which is fine. Breath in, hold. Breathe out. Keep that connection on with the tummy as you pull the arm back. Just do two more on this side. So again, breathe out, push away. Breath in at the end to hold. And breathe out again. Come back. Let's just do one more on this side. And we're going to switch to the other side. So other hand comes under. We're going to thread under, shoulder blade towards the floor. Breath in. And bring it back up. Two more. So remember, keep the shoulder blades drawing down. And you may well feel one side feels a lot tighter than the other when you're moving. Just bring it back to the centre and we're just going to rock back onto your heels. Drop your chin down and I just want you to focus on your breathing here. So just let everything go, tummy, pelvic floor, glutes, and just concentrate on just taking some nice big deep breaths in and out. So as you breathe in, your lower ribs should expand up and out. Shoulders should stay relatively relaxed. And then the out breath is just a nice relaxed breath out. Well done. So we're going to come down onto your front. Some of you I know don't like lying flat, completely flat on your front, in which case you just use something like a little pillow or rolled up or a folded up towel just underneath your pelvis, just so you're not completely flat. So we're going to come down I'm just going to rest your arms just next to you, just to the sides. And we're just going to do some spinal extensions here. So we're just going to bring your head down to the floor. Before you start, just make sure that your feet, knees and hips are parallel. You can turn the feet out if that feels more comfortable. Spine should be neutral, so we don't want to be overarching into your back. So think about just tucking tailbone under, just to engage that a little bit deeper into your core. And draw the shoulder blades down. We're going to take a breath in here. As you breathe out, we're going to lift the forehead and we're just going to peel up through into the breastbone. Draw the shoulder blades down as you lift. Try and keep the neck long, so we don't want to be tipping the head back and we don't want to be dropping the chin down. Okay, so just keep the neck nice and long. Hold it for a breath in and then breathe out again. Come back down. So the movement here is really coming from your upper back rather than your lower back. So connect pubic bone to tummy button, take a breath in, breathe out, lift, draw the shoulder blades down as you come up, hold it for a breath in, breathe out again, come down. We'll just keep going for a few more. Let's just do 2 more. Well done. And then nice and carefully push yourself up, just give yourself another little stretch. So lengthen the arms, bottom back on heels, we're opening up the spine again. And I just want you to go back to that breathing that we were doing before, so just let everything relax, focus on the movement of the rib cage. Well done. So let's come over onto one side. So when you come onto the side, you might well want to use your cushion or your towel just underneath your hip bone if you find that that digs into the floor. We're just going to come down. It's good if you've got something bigger, slightly bigger, just to go underneath your head. So again, cushions, towels, whatever you've got lying around, but just make sure you feel well supported. We're going to keep your bottom leg bent and we're going to stretch out the top leg. I just want you to look down at the top foot. So before you start, just make sure that the leg isn't too far forward. So we roughly want the foot, the knee, the hip and the shoulder to be in a nice line all the way through. We're just going to do a little bit of hip mobility work here. So obviously don't move into pain, or if you're not happy, don't do this particular exercise. But we're just going to do some circles. We're just going to sweep the leg up to the ceiling, round the back and down. So the idea with this is we're just working all the way through range with that leg. So it's all the way around as far as you can, but try not to roll the whole body. Try not to roll the pelvis forwards or backs. We're keeping hip forward. Everything else should just stay nice and stable. So you're just keeping that nice connection on with the core. Shoulder blade is drawing down. We're breathing out on the way up, breathing in on the way down. Just do 2 more coming around this way. And then we're going to come back round opposite direction. So again, breathe out on the way up, breathe in on the way down. Let's just do 2 more. And then just bring that leg in. So you can either just bring it to rest on top of your bottom leg, or if you feel like you need a bit of an extra stretch, just bring it up a little bit higher so the knee is going to rest on the floor in front of you, as long as that feels okay on your knee. So we're going to take your arms in front now. We're going to do some arm openings. So palms are going to start together
Hands are resting on the floor and your hands are roughly level with your shoulders. So we're going to connect pubic bone to tummy button, as we always do before you start. Take a breath in. Then as you breathe out, we're going to open the top arm away from the bottom arm. Keep your head nice and heavy down on the block. We're going to watch the hand, take it back as far as you can, but without twisting back through the hips and pelvis. Draw the shoulder blade down as you open. And we're going to hold it for a breath in. Then breathing out. Keep the connection on the tummy and keep the control around the shoulder. And we're returning all the way back. So breath in to hold. Breathe out, we're going to open. So keep the head nice and firmly down on your block. So just a nice relaxed rotation through the neck. Breath in at the end. And breathe out, we're coming back. So the extra breath in at the end just helps to expand the ribs. So it actually helps to increase the stretch coming through the rib cage and into the shoulder and into the back. So breath in, let's just do 2 more. Breathe out, open. Breath in at the end. And breathe out again, close. Last one, so breath in. Breathe out, open. Now on the next one, we're going to take it round into a little bit more of a deeper stretch. So we're going to circle the arm instead of just taking it back. So we're going to start off, keep the shoulder blade down. We're going to take the arm behind the head. We're going to circle it all the way round. So we're still adding the rotation through your upper back in and your neck in. We're going to take the arm all the way down to the hip. And then we're going to control it back to the hand again. Okay, so we're going to take it back. Breathe out as you take it back. Breathe in when you get to the end of that stretchy bit. And then breathe out again as the arm is returning. So breath in, breathe out to open. In at the end. And then breathe out again, close. Let's just do one last one. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely stretch into your upper back. Well done. So let's turn and do the same on the other side. So carefully turn over. So we're going to start with your hip rotations as we did a moment ago. So just make sure you're comfortable on your mat first. You're well supported, your bottom leg is bent. Top leg is in line all the way through. We're going to go back to your circle. So connect pubic bone to tummy button. We're going to breathe out and we're going to rotate the whole leg up to the ceiling and then breathe in, coming round and down. So again, we want to try and take it round as far as you can, all the way through range. So we're working all the way through the range of that hip. But again, try to keep it controlled. So we don't want to be feeling like the whole body is rolling forward and back. Just do one more round this way. And then back round the other way. Breathe out as you come up, in, round and down. So again, we're still working into your core. Obviously we're still working into your hip muscles, but it's more about actually just moving the whole leg round. Last two. And again, just bring the leg down, hug it up towards you, and we're going back to your arm openings. So make sure your head is nicely supported, arms in front, just level with shoulders. Connect again, pubic bone to tummy button. Breath in, breathe out, we're going to open the top arm. Watch the hand. Take it back as far as you can. Breath in at the end. And breathe out. We're coming all the way back. Hold it for a breath in. Breathe out, open. Breath in, hold. And breathe out. Closing back. Just do 2 more. So again, just watch you're not hunching through that top shoulder. If your neck doesn't like the rotation, just keep the neck still and just do the arm. Obviously you won't be able to go quite as far, but that's fine. Just listen to your body. So last one. Into your circles on the next one. So arm comes round and we're going to take it all the way around. Sweep it round to the hip. We're still adding the rotation in. Back to the hand. So keep the tummy switched on. Keep the shoulder blade drawing down. Open up. Back to the hand. We're just going to do 2 more. Last one. Breathe in when you get to the end of that last little stretchy bit, and then breathe out again as you return. Really good. So hold it here. We're just going to change positions. So we're just going to come over onto your back. First thing I want you to do is just draw your knees in towards your chest. So we're just going to draw them in, cross your hands, hands on knees, and we're just going to rotate the legs round. And then come back round the other way. We're going to keep the legs up, but I just want you to hold on to your inner lower shin, and we're just going to allow your legs just to open out to the side. So you're supporting your legs with your hands, but the knees are just going to flop out. You can rest the feet together if you want to, and we're just going to hold it here. So it's a stretch for your inner thighs. And I just want you to breathe into it. So with this one, I just want you to think about really letting go into your pelvic floor, obviously into your inner thighs, into your lower tummy. And I just want you to breathe into it. So let's just go back to those nice big deep breaths that we were doing before. So big breath in, the lower part of the rib cage just lifts up and out. Nice relaxed breath out. Well done. Now we're just going to bring the feet to the floor, and this time we're going to do a similar thing, but we're just going to bring the feet together and we're going to just allow the knees to open. And again, inner thighs should feel a bit of a stretch coming through, and we're just going to hold it here, and again just go back to your breathing. Try and keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. Well done. And then carefully bring the knees up. This time we're going to rest one foot onto the opposite knee, and then if that's comfortable, we're going to draw the knee in. If it's not, just leave the leg where it is. If it's okay, draw the knee in. Make sure you've got support around the back of the thigh with your hands, and we're just going to hold it here. Again, just let go, just really just try and release into the stretch. So if you feel like the stretch is starting to go off a little bit, then just see if you can ease into it just that little bit more, but we're still breathing, so nice big deep breaths in and out. And then let's switch to the other side. So bring that foot down, other one up. Again, just see how it feels there first. If you want to increase the stretch, draw it in. And again, just hold it and breathe into it again. And then let's bring the legs back down. So this time we're just going to do a little bit more hip mobility work. So you have an option with this next one. We can either keep the knees bent and just take one leg up to tabletop. What I want you to imagine is you're going to imagine a pencil sticking out of your knee onto the ceiling, and we're just going to draw some circles onto the ceiling with that pencil. So when we're working from the hip, make sure it's not just the knee doing this weird business. So the knee stays still and it's the hip that's doing the work. So we're just circling the leg round, just keeping the pelvis as level as you can, keep the connection gently on with your tummy. Try to keep open through your upper body, so collarbones wide, shoulder blades drawing down. That's the first level. If you want to make it harder, you can stretch the leg up towards the ceiling, and if you want, you can slide the other leg to the floor. This might feel quite of a challenge for some of you, particularly if you've got quite tight hamstrings, if you've got a bit of tightness in your back, or if you've got a bit of low back pain. Don't do this, okay? It might not feel very nice. Just keep the leg bent, and bend your other leg as well if you want to. So a middleman is to keep your supporting leg bent and then stretch the other leg. So either way is fine to do, but we're just going to rotate the leg round. We're just going to do 5 each way. If you get clicking at the front of the hip, bend the knee, okay, and it will make life a lot easier. So let's come back round opposite direction. So back round, just round as far as you want to go, but again we want to try and keep it controlled around the pelvis. Try and keep your supporting leg as still as you can. Well done. So let's just bring that leg in, bring that leg down. Same on the other side. So whichever version you did before, we're going to do the same again. So take the leg round, try and keep the shoulders as relaxed as possible. Back round the other way. And then we're just going to bring that leg in towards your chest, just support around the back of the thigh. We're going to stretch the leg to the ceiling, and we're just going to point and flex into the ankle. Again, if you want, you can slide the other leg to the floor, but if that just feels too tight and it feels like you've really twisted through the pelvis, or if you're not happy around your back, just keep the leg bent. We're just going to hold it here. Again, just breathe, focus on those nice big deep breaths. And then just bend the knee, bring the foot down. We'll do the same on the other side. So again, stretch up and add in your little ankle flexion extension if you want to. What we don't want with any of these stretches is for you to feel like your body is really resisting the stretch. So if you feel pain, or if you feel like your body is really shaking, so sometimes with these hamstring stretches you get this awful shake through the back of the leg. That is your body trying to counteract the stretch. So just ease off a little bit. Just don't take it quite so much into the stretch. Okay, well done. So let's bring that leg down. We're going to glue the legs together. So feet, knees and hips are together. Take your arms out to the sides. Your hands are level with your shoulders. Palms are facing up. Try and keep your shoulder blades drawing down into the floor. And we're going to take both knees over to one side. Just let your head rotate into the opposite direction. Keep the shoulder blades drawing down. Hold it for a breath in at the end, and then engage the tummy, and we're going to carefully bring the knees back up to the centre. It's almost like a corkscrew effect, and then over to the other side. And again, hold it for a breath in. Breathe out. Bring it back. Just do one more each way. And then come back to the centre. Bring the feet, knees and hips into parallel. We're just going to do some little roll ups and downs. So we're going to start with some pelvic tilts. So breath in, breathe out, just gently flatten into the lower back. And then we're just going to lift the tailbone slightly, but then we're going to roll back off. So just a really, really gentle pelvic tilt. So breathe out, flatten the spine, lift the tailbone, breathe in, roll back off. On the next one, we're going to take it up a little bit higher. So we're going to flatten and we're going to lift. Make sure that you don't come up into pain. We're going to, if you can, we're going to come up all the way to mid-shoulder blade. Breath in, hold. Breathing out, we're going to roll back down. So just really gentle bridges. And again, so breath out as you come up. Breathe in at the top. And then breathe out, come back down. On the next one, we're just going to add in just a little bit. So again, we're going to come up. This time we're going to hold. We're going to lift both arms and we're just going to take them back behind you. And then bring them back to the floor. And then roll back down. We're just going to do two more. So breathe out, come up. Breath in, take the arms back. And come back down. Roll back down through the spine. Let's just do one last one. And then this time when you get to the bottom, let's just draw the knees in towards you and just cross the hands like we did before. Just circle the legs around a few times each way. Well done. So carefully, we're going to come up into sitting. And you have an option with this. I know some people don't really like sitting. Okay, it sounds like a silly thing, but it's true. If you've got back problems, if you've got a lot of tightness in your legs, either through the front, through the backs, you might not like to sit. You can do these in kneeling if you prefer. There's lots of variety with these exercises. So you can have your legs out straight like so. Okay, now a lot of people don't like sitting like this. Okay, you can sit cross-legged if you want to. You can sit with your legs out in front like this. You can sit on a block if that feels like it sort of just gives you a little bit of support underneath your pelvis. Just sort of tilts you forward just so that you can get a better general alignment through your spine. So just make sure that with these exercises you're happy, okay, and you feel comfortable, and you're not doing anything that just doesn't feel good for you, okay. We're just going to do an exercise called the spine stretch. So I'm actually just going to sit in this position. You're going to bring your arms out in front and we're just going to drop your head down onto your chest. Now we're going to lean forward, so it's almost like a roll down in a way, but we're reaching the fingers down towards the feet. So we're stretching through the spine segmentally, leaning forward. So make sure that you're not just collapsing down towards the feet. It's almost like a stretch forward rather than down. Hold it for a breath in. And then carefully, we're restacking the spine all the way back up again. So it's like almost like a roll up. So one segment of the spine is restacking through and back up. Keep the shoulder blades drawing down. So breath in, breathe out, chin on chest. We're going to reach forward, rolling down through the spine. Breath in, hold, and breathing out. We're coming back up. So let's just do one more. And then just bring your arms down. Now here, we're going to stretch one leg out and we're going to cross the other leg over. And what I want you to do is we're just going to pull the leg that you've crossed over across your sort of midline with the opposite hand. And we're just going to rotate towards the opposite side. And I just want you to breathe. One more breath in and out. And then we're going to switch. So other leg in front, other leg over, and we're just going to do the same again. So you're going to pull the leg over and we're going to twist the other way. Try to keep your shoulder blades down. Again, we're just going to hold and breathe. Well done. So let's take it back over onto hands and knees. And we're just going to just sink back onto your heels. And then we're going to come back up. And we're just going to do a few. So just rocking back and then coming back forward. Then from here we're going to come into a downward dog. So we're just going to tuck the balls of the feet under. We're going to push with the hands and we're going to try and walk the heels back into the floor. But don't worry if you can't get them completely flat. Try and keep your legs straight. Drop your chin down and we're just going to do some little marches here. So we're just going to let one heel lift. Try and press the other leg to the floor or the other heel to the floor. And then we're going to switch. So other heel down. And switch again. So really lovely stretch coming all the way through the back of the leg. Obviously be careful though, don't force anything. Let's just do one more on each side. And then we're going to come into a roll up. So carefully walk your hands back, bring your heels to the floor and just make sure your weight is nice and even through the feet. We're going to scoop the tailbone underneath. We're going to roll up through the spine. And we're going to restack nice and carefully. Just watch the head, make sure you don't feel dizzy. All the way up. When you get to the top, let's stretch your arms up. So reach to the ceiling. If you can, come up onto balls of feet as well. Hold it for a breath in. Breathing out, we're going to rotate the arms around, out to the side. Try and hold your balance. Bring the heels down and we're going to go again. So chin on chest, rolling down. Let the knees bend slightly as you come down. Breath in to hold at the bottom. And then breathing out, we're going to roll back up. When you get to the top, link the fingers, stretch the arms, come up onto balls of feet. Hold it here for a breath in. Breathe out, arms come down first, keep your balance. And heels, we'll just do one more roll down. Again, breath in, hold. And breathing out, we're going to roll back up. Now we're just going to do one more stretch just to finish off in standing. So we're just going to take a step out to the side.
We're going to lean over to the side that you're stretching. So we're trying to sort of stretch into your inner thighs. We're going to take the arm over as well. So we're just going to lean down onto your bent knee. We're just going to reach over. Just try and hold it. Breathe into that stretch. The lovely stretch all the way through the side. Just try and hold. Obviously don't do this if you're not happy. If you can, let's just add a little bit of rotation. So just rotating your torso down towards the floor slightly. And then let's rotate back up towards the ceiling. Just do one more each way. And then carefully come out of the stretch, let that knee bend, and we're going to do the same over to the other side. So we're just going to bend over, lean onto that leg, reach over with the arm, and again we're just going to hold it here. Breathe into it. And again we're just going to rotate towards the ceiling and down towards the floor. One more each way, nice and gently. Back towards the floor. And then carefully bring it back to the centre. Come out of the stretch nice and carefully. And walk your feet in so they're just under your hips, and we'll just go back to some nice shoulder rolls. So hopefully you feel like you have stretched your entire body through that little routine. Again, any issues, let me know. Any comments, feel free to post them at the bottom underneath this video.